specially chartered plane has dropped Blake Stanfield and his father Neil in a remote Alaskan wilderness 60 miles from the nearest settlement.
How's the raft coming? We're almost there. Good. Get the coffee on.
Neil runs a building management firm, and Blake is a doctor. They'd taken leave to spend some time together.
My father and I started backpacking when I was a young boy. Always ended up loving that. He taught me to appreciate the outdoors.
Isn't it beautiful, Dad?
Well, a long way from Oklahoma City.
Blake and I are good friends. We talk every day and share our experiences. He's always been a good kid.
Blake's organized the rafting trip as a gift to his dad to celebrate a very special occasion.
For my father's 65th birthday, I had planned this rafting trip to the gates of the Arctic as a present to him.
Although Neil's been looking forward to this, he knows it's going to be tough.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
Man over here?
Sure.
He'd really wanted Blake to book them on an organized group trip, but Blake had other ideas.
Blake is very independently minded and decided that, oh no, we don't want to do that. We want to be able to do whatever we want to do.
Since he knew I'd made up my mind, there wasn't much he was going to say that could make me change my mind.
Okay, Dad?
Yeah. It would have been kind of nice to watch someone else do the hauling and shoving.
Come on, Dad. You want to share this with 10 strangers and a tour guide?
Matter of fact, yeah.
I had never wanted to, and still never want to go on a guided tour.
Let's load her up.
It was, an experience that I wanted to have with my father, just the two of us.
Better get going, Dad.
Just checking everything's shipshape. Where in the world did I put that lighter?
I got it.
Very repellent. Extra strength, very repellent.
Almost anywhere in Alaska, you're going to run into many different types of wildlife, which includes bear, and of course, that's something that you always need to be prepared for.
The gates of the Arctic National Park is spectacular but dangerous. It's home to hundreds of black bears and grizzlies, not to mention roaming packs of wolves. It's 13,000 square miles of near untouched wilderness. Father and son have no way of contacting the outside world. They've packed no radio or mobile phone. Blake's itinerary has them traveling south by raft down the Koyukuk River to the town of Bettles. It should take around 6 days.
Let's go!
It was about a 90-mile float that we had planned, just camping and doing little short day hikes. We were just going to have fun.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't it? Thanks, son. A wonderful, wonderful birthday present.
Well, most of our conversation was just how amazed we were with the beauty that we were surrounded by and how remote it was and how quiet it was.
Blake and Neil have deliberately avoided the crowds by arriving in early June. It's 2 weeks before the start of the rafting season, so the men have the Koyukuk River all to themselves.
Quite exciting, isn't it? I'm glad I came.
We commented on the way down the river that wasn't it great to be the only ones on the river, the first ones on the river that year, and there was a reason, as it turned out.
They'd been rafting for just a couple of hours when they noticed that the river is changing.
Blake, ice.
Oh, yeah.
Thought it would all be melted by now.
Yeah, me too.
For 6 months of the year, the rivers are choked with ice. During the summer, it all melts. But this early in the season, Some patches have yet to thaw.
The longer we floated, the more ice we actually started to encounter.
It doesn't look like it's gonna let up. Do you think we ought to stop this thing?
The current's picking up speed, and Blake struggles to control the raft.
I kept trying to look around the corner, hoping to find, which way we were going to be going. And that's when I realized that actually we didn't have a choice where we were going.
The men are at the mercy of the current.
We're gonna have to pull in and stop this.
I'm trying, Dad. I can't slow it down, though.
We're going too fast.
Slow it down, Dad.
It was sheer panic at the time, and it happened so quickly there wasn't much time at all to think. The next thing I actually remember was being pulled right underneath the ice.
There was so little time to realize what had happened, except that it was a real problem.
It wasn't long before we came up in essentially an air chamber underneath the ice.
The air pocket saves their lives, but the ice shelf could stretch on for miles.
I remember looking over at my father, yelling at him.
Blake yelled.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Of course, it wasn't his fault.
Give a hand.
Blake manages to grab Neil's hand,
Hold on.
but the current's too strong. His dad is swept away beneath the ice. The men are spat out from under the ice shelf, but their ordeal isn't over yet.
We were being carried rapidly toward the second ice shelf. I saw it coming. I reached up and grabbed it to try to prevent from going under it. Of course, the river was such that I was carried underneath.
The roof of this ice shelf is even lower than the last.
And the second ice shelf had no room to breathe.
I really thought I had taken my last breath. My father and I both ended up with a lot of abrasions to the top of our heads because we kept trying to come up to the air that we were hoping was there. I've never thought of a worse way of dying than drowning, and was certainly thinking that that is how I was going to die. After being under that water for what seemed like an eternity, I just remember popping out, taking in a nice big breath of air. At this time, I had no idea where my father was. He had been pushed up against something and trapped.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
I don't know how I would have been able to face my mother and the rest of my family, letting them know that my father had perished, when I had made it. And the next thing I remember seeing was his head above the water.
The powerful current is sweeping Neil away.
It didn't appear like he was making any attempt to get out of the river, and for all I knew, he was injured and couldn't.
Neil's disorientated, but somehow he catches hold of a rock and hauls himself out.
Dad, you're gonna freeze!
Blake knows that his dad has got to get to shore fast before he's paralyzed by cold and shock.
Let us swim!
And Blake, in the meantime, is yelling at me, and I can't hear him above the roar of the river.
Let us swim for it! Hey, here you go!
So eventually I managed to get my breath long enough to tell him to shut up.
Will you let me think for a minute?
Blake was telling me that I had to swim over to him, which was the last thing in the world I wanted to do.
Dad! Come get!
Getting back in the river is dangerous. But Blake knows it's his dad's only chance.
Come on, Dad! You can do it! You can do it, Dad! Dad!
Oh my God, you're freezing. Dad, come here.
I'm so sorry, Dad.
It's okay. It's okay. It was just bad luck. Bad luck.
As a doctor, Blake knows that his dad's in the first stages of hypothermia.
I thought you were gone.
The second I got him out, I realized he was shaking uncontrollably. It was mild seizure-like.
We gotta warm you up, Dad. We gotta warm you up.
Blake's desperate. All their spare clothes were lost in the accident. Then he remembers something. The lighter he stowed in his life jacket. It didn't get washed away, but it's soaking wet.
When I pulled that lighter out of my pocket and hit the button, that torch lit up, and maybe we were going to be able to have a fire. I knew that we had to get a fire started. We had to get him out of those cold, wet clothes.
We gotta get you dry. It's okay, Dad. You're gonna be okay. All right?
Neil's wet clothes are making his temperature fall even faster.
It's okay.
Basically, while this fire got started, I hugged him and tried to give him some of the warmth that I had. Eventually got him to where he wasn't shaking anymore.
Blake had in his life vest a picture of his wife and son, and been so worried about ever seeing them again. And we were both somewhat crying.
It's okay, look. It's gonna be all right. I'll be back home.
But Blake knows their prospects are bleak. They're stranded in a remote wilderness and nobody expects them back for at least a week. Their raft is lost, along with all their food and gear. Worse still, the reserve is teeming with hundreds of wolves and bears.
I think at that point we realized that we got some big problems.
Getting colder now, the sun's going down. You think we ought to find a more sheltered spot?
Yeah. You okay to move?
Guess I'll have to be. What are you doing?
Show people where we're going.
Pity there'll be no one to see it.
Come on now.
Blake and Neil set off to look for shelter. Blake lost his boots in the accident, but his pace still leaves his father lagging behind.
think that I wanted to move a lot faster than my father was able to move at the time.
The freezing water has drained Neil's strength. He's 65 years old and still feeling the effects of an accident 12 months ago that left him with a broken ankle.
Blake, can we just hold up here a minute? You're not even trying to find a place to stop.
Oh, sorry, Dad. I just got carried away.
There's no way we're just walking out of here. We're gonna have to find a good campsite and stay put. How agreed?
All right.
Okay. Give me your hand.
Here we were in the middle of this vast wilderness, a good 60 miles from the nearest human being. No one was expected to be flown into the area for at least 2 weeks after our trip. We were alone, and we were going to have to endure or survive until either we found a way out of it or someone came looking for us.
It's the rainy season, so the men set about building a shelter to protect them. It's crucial they stay warm and dry. But that's just the start of their problems.
Hey, Blake! Come take a look at this!
What?
Tracks. What do you think?
Black bear?
More like a grizzly to me. There's dozens of them around here.
Well, maybe they were just passing through. I'm gonna get that fire started.
They packed a shotgun, but that's at the bottom of the river. Now their only defense against prowling grizzlies is fire. Their ordeal has left Neil and Blake battered and bruised. Now they have to contend with the cold.
We got enough wood?
Yeah, we got lots. You get closer to the fire. I'm warm enough. There.
My father and I took turns laying towards the front of the shelter where the fire was.
Try and get some sleep, okay?
Yeah. And then whoever was laying in back would bear hug the person in front.
Sleeping won't be easy. It's summer and the sun barely dips below the horizon. But during the few hours of darkness, the temperature can still get close to freezing.
I shivered myself to sleep, because sure my clothes were still damp.
But Blake can't sleep. He knows it'll be at least a week before anyone realizes they're missing. If they stay put, their chances of survival are slim. The only alternative is a grueling 60-mile hike to the nearest town.
It was a long.
For Dave Boyer and Crystal Ramsey, it's the trip of a lifetime.
Can you believe it? We're actually here in the Amazon.
Hey, you know when I make a promise, I keep it.
It's the realization of a dream they shared 2 years ago when they were a couple.
Crystal and I dated for about 3 years, and really were the closest you could possibly be. One day we were talking about our passions, and I asked her the question, if you could go any one place in the world, where would that be?
And the Amazon was #1 for both of us.
Dave and Crystal aren't together anymore, but they are still close friends.
There was no one I would have rather gone with than him.
Dave knows that Crystal has had a long-standing struggle with depression.
In school where I met Dave, I had a very bad time with depression.
Dave thinks this trip will be good for her, but he's also nursing a secret hope that it might just reignite their romance.
She was the love of my life. I still envisioned spending the rest of my life with her.
They've traveled almost 200 miles south from the Brazilian city of Manaus to one of the Amazon's remotest backwaters. They plan to spend 2 months exploring the region. Their base, a small lodge in the heart of the rainforest. Around it is a network of clearly marked forest trails. Dave and Crystal spend their first 2 days checking out the shorter ones. Then they decide they're ready to take on the longest. It's known as the White Trail, and it stretches 3 miles deep into virgin rainforest. Dave and Crystal set off in the morning with enough water for a 3-hour hike.
We left just before 10 o'clock and expected to be back in time for a late lunch.
They've spent 2 years reading up on the rainforest, but nothing prepares them for the real thing.
As soon as we went in, we started to see more than we had ever seen before, such as bats and different kind of bugs than we had ever seen, and it was a fantastic morning. I was really excited.
Dave, look.
We had tunnel vision. We were focused on one thing, and that was exploring and seeing the rainforest. We were oblivious to any dangers that were involved.
They are so absorbed by the sights and sounds of the forest, they don't notice that they've stepped off the marked trail.
Our awareness was elsewhere. It was on the trees, on the animals, on the sounds.
They are now following paths made by animals.
As we got further along, the jungle seemed to creep in on each side. We now had to walk in a single file line.
Then the path completely disappears. For the first time, they realize they're no longer on the trail.
That's when I didn't know what to do. I was really worried.
Let's see the map.
I think I forgot the map at the lodge.
I had left the map sitting on the dresser in our cabin.
Dave.
Look, I can remember it. I can.
The map Dave left behind was a hand-drawn sketch of the area. He clearly remembers it showing the lodge at the bottom, which would normally indicate that it lies to their south. But the map isn't laid out in the usual way. To get back to the lodge, they actually need to head north.
If we head south, that should take us back.
You're sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Okay.
Come on, let's go.
Hiking south is the worst decision Dave could make. Ahead, there lies nothing but thousands of miles of rainforest. Uninhabited, except for rainforest creatures, many of them highly dangerous. 2 hours later, they're getting worried.
This way.
We had been walking far longer than we should have been. We should have been back by then.
There's not much daylight left. It will soon be nightfall.
I'm not going to stay out in the forest. I can't let this happen. We have to find our way back before it gets dark.
I knew that once it got dark, we weren't going to be able to continue.
As darkness descends, any chance of finding the lodge today disappears.
That's really the first time we started to have some panic.
What time is it?
It's almost 6.
We should be back by now. If we'd been walking in the right direction for this long, we would have...
I know.
I don't think he wanted to deal with it. He didn't want to deal with even having to think about sleeping out there.
I was frustrated at myself. I felt responsible for getting us lost and felt responsible for finding the way back.
Crystal, you know what I'm thinking?
We're gonna have to spend the night here.
Yeah.
We just picked a spot to stay, a cleared area, and we just sat down to wait out the night.
Chris, I am so sorry about this.
It's okay. You buy me a beer when we get back, and we'll call it even. Okay?
Okay.
But they both know how vulnerable they really are. The rainforest is teeming with nocturnal predators.
A lot of the poisonous snakes, they wander through the forest at night. The jaguar comes out at night. You don't have a lot of choices of protection.
Dave and Crystal share a single thought. Can they make it through the night, alive?
Chris, there's something out there.
The Amazon at night is a terrifying place to be. Dave and Crystal are totally defenseless, with no way to protect themselves from predators.
We weren't going to try to sleep at all. We were going to stay up, and that way if something stumbled upon us, we would be ready.
49 bottles of beer. Take one. Jeez, did you hear that? Chris, there's something out there. Do you think it could be a jaguar?
The Amazonian jaguar stalks its prey under the cover of darkness. It can kill with a single crushing bite to the head. Whatever it was, Dave has scared it off for now. They spend a sleepless night, alert to every tiny sound. Dave and Crystal have survived the night unscathed, almost.
I'm covered in mosquito bites.
Be grateful that's all that bit you.
Very funny.
So, what's the plan?
Well,
Dave needs to get them back to the lodge fast. Crystal's on medication for her depression, and he knows she doesn't have her drugs with her.
She had never missed a day on that medication.
this trail heads south, so it should take us right back to the lodge.
Okay. So we'll be back for breakfast.
Yeah. Let's get moving.
I truly believed that we were close and we were heading in the right direction. We just had run out of time the night before. It was going to be a breeze.
But with every step, they continue to move further away from the safety of the lodge. Four hours later, the temperature in the forest has soared. The heat and the way they're pushing themselves mean that Dave and Crystal are sweating out almost 4 pints of fluid an hour.
We were starting to get depressed about our situation. We were starting to get frustrated. The temperature was rising really fast. It was getting up to 95 degrees. We were sweating profusely.
Let's take a break.
Dave, I'm out of water.
When I realized that we were out of water and it was hot and it was 10 o'clock, I really started to realize things weren't just going to be okay.
We knew that we were losing water so quickly and things were not going to function right. Our brain was going to start to trick us and our body was going to give out eventually.
There's got to be something around here.
The irony is that the Amazon basin is one of the wettest places on Earth. Over 9 inches of rain can fall in a single month, leaving puddles of water everywhere. But they face an agonizing dilemma.
I didn't know what to do. Should we drink water and possibly get very sick, or risk getting very sick from dehydration?
I have an idea. Give me that.
My plan was to use my sports bra as a filter.
Okay. Now I want you to pour that through the top here.
Crystal's bra could actually filter out a number of nasty parasites. But it won't get rid of smaller microorganisms that could make them dangerously ill.
Okay. Bottoms up.
I don't know about this.
We don't have a choice.
Well, cheers.
I took a small sip and kind of let it sit in my mouth for a second to taste it.
Tastes okay. Kind of chalky.
We were both worried about drinking water, but in the end, when it's 95 degrees and you're sweating like that, it's going to be more painful not to drink it.
Rehydrated, Dave and Crystal pick up the pace. But they must stay constantly on guard. The forest is alive with creatures that could kill them with a single bite.
We're consistently listening to sounds and trying to figure out what was in the forest around us. I didn't want to touch a branch that we didn't know what was on that branch. We wanted to watch our steps.
Whoa.
What is it?
A snake. Let's go another way.
They're lucky. A few more steps and they could have trodden on the snake. The Amazon basin is home to some of the most poisonous snakes in the world. One bite could mean a slow and agonizing death. By mid-afternoon, Dave is resorting to a new desperate tactic in his search for the lodge.
I was trying to keep us in the same area of where we got lost in, kind of zigzagging back and forth, hoping to stumble upon the trail.
Let's try over there.
Crystal was starting to get a little bit frustrated with that strategy.
Dave was literally almost walking in circles and didn't realize that that's what he was doing.
Crystal is starting to feel the pressure.
My brain was saying, things are going downhill.
Now, which way are we going?
East.
East. 20 minutes ago, we were going south.
Yeah, well, we've got to try all directions. Maybe we should head north now.
Dave, this is crazy. I can't stand to listen to you talk about directions you know nothing about. You don't know where we're going, and all we're doing is walking around in circles.
Dave had kept coming up with a different strategy every few hours whenever one didn't work. And that wasn't working for me.
We need to rethink this.
All right, then. Well, what do you think?
I thought we needed to come up with a strategy and continue using it until the end.
That way.
Okay.
What neither of them realize is the only direction that can help them is north.
We chose southeast. We will walk in this one direction for as long as it takes. If it takes us 40 days to get out of here, we're gonna walk southeast.
Hours later, and the jungle is just getting denser.
We were getting down. We were getting scared and worried.
Everything just looks the same.
The jungle is so dense and so thick, you can't see more than a few yards in any direction at any one time.
Dave has an idea. If he can get up high, he might just be able to see the lodge.
The knots in the vine were ripping at my hands and it was hurting me. My arms were tired, I was exhausted. And I looked up and I saw that I had not made any progress. It was still 150 feet up to the top.
He is weak from 2 days without sleep or food.
Are you okay? Did you see anything?
Yeah. Rainforest.
Why is no one looking for us?
In fact, people are looking for them. But the search is focused